Do you want to be ahead of the game for the latest in arts, music, cuisine, and entertainment across the Middle East's most dynamic capital cities? Al Monitor is proud to launch our City Pulse newsletters, focused exclusively on local news, starting in Riyadh, Dubai, Istanbul, and Doha. Each week, our on-the-ground writers in these cities cover the latest cultural happenings and trends, so you have everything you need to know for the best local experiences. To subscribe for free, go to almonitor.com, that's al-monitor.com, and sign up on our newsletter page.
Welcome back to the Al Monitor Brief. I'm Adam Lucente. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas is set to travel to Beirut on Wednesday for his first visit to Lebanon since 2017. He is expected to meet both Lebanon's President Joseph Aoun and Prime Minister Nawaf Salam, as well as Parliament Speaker Nabih Berri. According to reports, Abbas is expected to discuss the disarmament of Palestinian armed groups in Lebanon. Lebanon is home to around 300,000 Palestinians, and there are 12 Palestinian refugee camps in the country. Both Abbas's Fatah and Hamas are among the Palestinian groups to have fighters in Lebanon. The push to disarm the Palestinian groups comes as Aoun pledges to bring all weapons in Lebanon under the authority of the state, as well as growing calls internally and from abroad to disarm Hezbollah. In this episode, we hear from Al Monitor's reporter in Beirut, Beatrice Farhat. Beatrice takes us through the details surrounding Abbas's visit, the prospect of disarming Palestinian groups in Lebanon, and the state of relations between the Palestinian Authority and the Lebanese government. Hope you enjoy. Beatrice, welcome back to the Al Monitor Brief.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on this busy news day. My first question is, why is Palestinian President Abbas going to Lebanon now? What do we know about the objectives of this visit?
It seems the visit, it coincides with the major changes happening in the region, namely after the war ended, the war in Lebanon ended between Israel and Hezbollah, and the fall of Hezbollah's ally in Syria and the ongoing war in Gaza. So all these factors seem to be one of the reasons why Abbas is visiting, including the Lebanese authorities' talk about controlling the weapons inside Palestinian refugee camps. We're expecting him to meet with the Lebanese officials, including the President Joseph Aoun, and Prime Minister Nawaf Salam, and they're expected to discuss namely the issue of disarming the Palestinian armed factions inside the refugee camps in Lebanon and mainly extending the state's authority over all Lebanese territory. That's what we are expecting mainly, because there hasn't been an official announcement that he would be visiting. AFP reported it and Abbas's office confirmed it. So this is according to several sources and reports that we have seen about the visit.
And on the issue of the disarmament, like you said, one thing that's been talked about a lot in the lead up to the trip is the efforts to disarm these Palestinian groups in Lebanon. How feasible is it, in your view, to actually be able to take the weapons from these groups in the camps?
Well, at this point, it's not really clear how Lebanese authorities are going to be able to remove these weapons. For starters, there's a long-standing agreement, the 1969 Cairo Agreement, that prohibits the Lebanese army from entering the Palestinian refugee camps. There are 12 refugee camps spread across Lebanon, housing nearly 500,000 Palestinians. Well, not all of them are armed, but there are weapons spread in some of them, including the largest one, the Ain al-Halwa camp in Saida. And this camp specifically is the scene of repeated fighting between rival factions, which raises the concerns of Lebanese authorities of a spillover to the rest of the Lebanese communities surrounding the camps. So it's not clear how the plan is going to be implemented on the ground. But so far, Abbas has reportedly agreed to remove the weapons of his own faction, Fatah, in the camps. And according to sources, they're saying that he would be forming a security committee that would oversee this process based on a clear timetable. So it seems there's going to be some sort of cooperation between the Lebanese state and Palestinian official authorities to remove these weapons without having direct clashes between the two sides. It also seems Hamas is willing to cooperate. Lebanon's Higher Defense Council has sent a clear warning against Hamas, against carrying out attacks from its own territory. That was in reference to two rocket attacks that were launched from Lebanon towards Israel last March, despite a ceasefire. And Hamas positively responded to the statement. It said it agrees to cooperate with Lebanese authorities to bring those responsible for these rocket attacks to justice. So far, the Lebanese army has announced that Hamas handed over three Hamas members from Palestinian camps to the Lebanese army. So it seems there's going to be some sort of coordination, cooperation between the two sides to start and remove these weapons that are a source of concern for Lebanese authorities.
And one more question on this. Is disarming Palestinian groups in Lebanon a priority for the government of Prime Minister Salam and Joseph Aoun? Or do you think they're perhaps more focused on the Hezbollah issue?
Not necessarily. We can't tell if it's a priority or not, but it seems that it could be easier to tackle this issue because the weapons are contained we know where the weapons are. They're in certain camps and we know where they are, and there's a plan to remove them, which could happen. We're not sure yet. But as for Hezbollah, it is also a priority since there's been a lot of pressure on Lebanon to remove these weapons as soon as possible. But we can't forget that Hezbollah is part of the Lebanese community. It is a recognized political actor. It has a wide popular base, and it enjoyed a wide influence in the past before its war with Israel, which now seemed more weakened. It's not really clear at this point how the Lebanese state is going to handle everything, and President Aoun also said that he is willing to remove the weapons of Hezbollah, but it can't be done unless there's a dialogue between the two parties. And so far, no dialogue has been initiated yet. Meanwhile, the Lebanese army is dismantling Hezbollah infrastructure and confiscating weapons south of the Litani River, which is stipulated in the ceasefire that ended the war with Hezbollah. But we're still waiting to see what's going to happen after that in the coming months.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Beatrice Farhat after this short break.
Today's transformation of the Middle East is at the center of global geopolitics. Whether you're an analyst, diplomat, executive, or academic, you need the best reporting and analysis to understand what's really happening on the ground and what it means for the world. Al-Monitor is the award-winning independent leader in Middle East news. From Riyadh to Beirut, Abu Dhabi to Doha, and Baghdad to Tehran, our team of over 100 expert journalists report daily on the top stories driving the regional trends. Download our mobile app and subscribe to Al-Monitor to follow what leaders and decision makers are reading every day. Go to almonitor.com, that's AL-MONITOR.com, and use promo code POD25, POD25 for a discount.
Okay, we're back. Beatrice, my last question is a more general one. How are Lebanon-Palestinian relations under Aoun? Specifically, relations between this Lebanese government, which is new, and the Palestinian Authority, which has been led by Abbas for a much longer time.
It's not really clear yet how relations are going to be shaping up, but it seems that with Abbas's visit now, and it's his first to Lebanon since 2017, so it seems it's going to herald a new chapter in the relations. It's important to note that relations between Palestine and Lebanon are complex. While Lebanon does support the Palestinians' right of return and the establishment of an independent Palestinian state, there's a constant source of tensions between the two parties. The presence of Palestinian armed groups in Lebanon has always been a source of tension with the Lebanese authorities, namely, which started during the Civil War and in 2007, when the Lebanese army was in direct confrontation with Islamists in the Nahar al-Barid refugee camp in the north. And more recently, in July 2023, there's been also some violent clashes between rival factions in Ain al-Halwa, which was also a source of tension for Lebanese authorities. So we're hoping that with this visit and with the President assuming power, there's going to be a change. There's going to be some control over the proliferation of arms in Palestinian camps to reduce this tension and to establish the Lebanese authorities' control over all the Lebanese territory.
Beatrice, thanks a lot for your time, and we look forward to more of your reporting from Beirut.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Al Monitor Brief. Be sure to follow Al Monitor for more on the stories impacting the Middle East. Until next time, I'm Adam Lucente.